120 miles per hour, 20 drivers, 10 teams, one world championship. This is Formula 1, the planet's most dangerous chessboard, where billion-dollar machines and millisecond decisions define legacies. It's not just a race, it's war, dressed in carbon fiber and played out under flashing lights and global scrutiny. Every weekend, the world watches in awe. But behind the polished garages and red carpets lies a world few understand. A world of secret deals, mind games, cutthroat rivalries, and history-making controversy. So ask yourself, what really happens behind those mirrored helmets and velvet paddock ropes? And how did this European elite sport go viral in the heart of American culture? In this story, you'll meet icons like Michael Schumacher, the methodical machine who ruled Ferrari's empire. Lewis Hamilton, record breaker, activist, fashion icon, and the face of modern F1. Max Verstappen, Red Bull's fearless prodigy, rewriting the script in real time. You'll uncover heartbreak, betrayal, billion-dollar rivalries, and the women who influence the most powerful drivers in the world. This isn't just racing. This is a lifestyle. A high-speed soap opera where the truth moves faster than the checkered flag. Welcome to the world of Formula 1. Before it was billion-dollar tech, it was chaos. Before it was Monaco and Miami, it was muddy tracks and fatal crashes. Formula 1 was born in the aftermath of World War II. Europe, scarred and rebuilding, turned to speed as an escape. Men who once flew fighter planes now raced open-wheel machines at terrifying velocities, with nothing more than leather helmets and blind faith. The first official Formula 1 World Championship race took place in Silverstone, England, in 1950. Back then, safety was an afterthought. Cars were built like tin cans with wheels. Seatbelts were considered optional. Death was common, accepted even, as part of the spectacle. But this wasn't just adrenaline. It was a new form of engineering warfare. Every lap became a test of man and machine. And for the brave few behind the wheel, survival wasn't guaranteed, but glory was. Through the 60s and 70s, icons emerged, drivers like Jim Clark and Niki Lauda. The sport became more organized, but never less dangerous. Spectators were hooked, tuning in for speed, drama, and danger. Tragedy still struck, but it also forged heroes. By the 1980s, technology took over. Aerodynamics, wind tunnels, computers. Race strategy became as important as bravery. The sport evolved, but never slowed. Then came the businessman who turned racing into a global empire, Bernie Ecclestone. He revolutionized the business side of Formula 1, centralizing TV rights, expanding to new countries, and transforming the grid into a traveling spectacle of wealth and status. Races were no longer confined to Europe. F1 went global. Japan, Australia, the Middle East, and eventually, the US. But America didn't bite. Not at first, until Netflix. With the launch of Drive to Survive, millions of Americans suddenly cared, not just about the cars, but about the characters, team bosses, mechanics, the heartbreak of losing, the joy of the podium. And now? Formula 1 has 3 races on American soil: Austin, Miami, and Las Vegas. And suddenly, a sport once dominated by European interest is riding high in the land of NASCAR. From its bloody beginnings to its billion-dollar broadcasts, Formula 1 was never just about cars. It was always about power, prestige, and pushing the limit. Some athletes win trophies. F1 drivers become legends. Start with Ayrton Senna, the Brazilian genius, a rain-soaked magician. Senna didn't just drive, he soared. His battles with Alain Prost were warfare. His laps in Monaco were poetry. He believed racing was spiritual, even sacred. And then, in 1994, it ended. A crash at Imola took his life. He was just 34. But Senna's legacy never died. It echoed in the garage, in the tears of fans, in the fear of rainstorms where his spirit still seems to guide the car. Then came Michael Schumacher. Precision, consistency, ruthlessness, Ferrari's ultimate weapon, 7 world championships, 91 victories. He was the red machine, relentless, untouchable. Lewis Hamilton, a boy from England, the first black driver in F1. He shattered records and expectations, 7 world titles, pole positions, podiums. But he wasn't just a driver. He became a movement, fashion, activism, influence. And in 2021, he stood on the edge of an 8th title until Max Verstappen, the Dutch dynamo, raised to race. Red Bull's unstoppable force, fearless, aggressive, a champion in the makings and then a champion in reality. Abu Dhabi 2021, 1 lap, 1 pass, 1 title. The controversy didn't matter to his fans. Max was the future. But Ferrari wasn't finished. Charles Leclerc, French elegance, speed with control, talent with discipline. He's Ferrari's answer to Red Bull's dominance. And then there's Logan Sargent, America's great driver, young, hungry, raw, carrying the stars and stripes back onto the grid from 2023 to 2024. From Senna's fire to Max's fury, these drivers aren't just athletes. They are legends in motion. In the early days, Formula 1 races were battles of survival. Circuits like the Nürburgring were long, dangerous, and completely unforgiving. One mistake could mean the end, not just of a race, but of a career, or even a life. There were no virtual safety cars, no tire warmers, no data engineers. It was raw, wild, mechanical chaos. A time when victory meant taming the untamable. But as the decades rolled on, F1 transformed. The sport began to value precision as much as passion. Teams brought in mathematicians, strategists, and software developers. The race wasn't just on the track anymore. It was in the pit lane, on the screens, and behind the numbers. Aerodynamics became religion. Data became king. Pit stops went from 20 seconds to 2. And as the racing changed, so did the calendar. From classic European venues like Monza and Silverstone, F1 expanded across the globe. Races in Japan, Singapore, Brazil, and Abu Dhabi brought millions of new fans. Each Grand Prix became a cultural event. But the most dramatic shift? The American wave. For decades, the US barely noticed Formula 1. But now, it's a different story. The US boasts not 1, not 2, but 3 Grand Prix weekends. Austin's rough and ready Texas energy, Miami's celebrity-fueled chaos, and Las Vegas, Formula 1 on the Strip, under neon lights, with stakes as high as the casinos that line the track. The format is evolving too. Sprint races, new qualifying formats, rule changes designed to spice up the grid and level the playing field. Some fans hate it, others love it, but no one can look away. The race is faster, sharper, louder, and the world can't get enough. Formula 1 has always been a sport for the bold. But for decades, that boldness came with a condition. You had to be a man. Only a handful of women have ever driven in a Formula 1 Grand Prix. In 1958, Maria Teresa de Filippis made history as the first. She qualified, raced, and proved that talent wasn't gendered. Then came Lella Lombardi in the 1970s, the only woman to ever score points in an F1 race. Her performance at the 1975 Spanish Grand Prix earned her half a championship point. It may sound small, but it was monumental. And then, silence. For nearly half a century, the grid remained male only. Not for lack of talent, but because the system didn't make room. Sponsorships rarely flowed to female drivers. Opportunities dried up at the junior level. The pathway forward? Closed. But that's changing. Today, Formula 1 is waking up. The launch of the W Series in 2019, and now the F1 Academy, an all-female development championship backed by the sport itself, are building a foundation for women to rise through the ranks. Leading the charge? Susie Wolff, former Williams test driver, team principal, mentor, voice for change. She's proving that women belong not only behind the wheel, but at the decision-making table. Outside the cockpit, women now lead strategy departments, engineering divisions, and marketing empires within the sport. They are no longer spectators or accessories, they are architects of the future. The question isn't if we'll see a woman in Formula 1 again. It's when. And when it happens, the sport will never be the same. If Formula 1 is the pinnacle of precision, it's also the epicenter of drama. For every victory lap, there's a scandal brewing in the background. Some shake teams, others shake the sport itself. Let's start with one of the most explosive, Crashgate. It's 2008, the Singapore Grand Prix. Renault's driver, Nelson Piquet Jr., crashes deliberately. Why? To help his teammate, Fernando Alonso, win. The plan works. Alonso wins. But a year later, the truth comes out. The team had orchestrated the crash. The fallout is massive. Suspensions, fines, careers ended, trust shattered. Next up, Spygate, 2007. McLaren is caught with a 780-page dossier of Ferrari's technical secrets. Stolen data, corporate espionage. The punishment? A record fine of $100 million. McLaren's reputation takes a hit it still hasn't fully recovered from. And then, Abu Dhabi 2021. Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen. The title, showdown. One race, equal points. In the final laps, a crash brings out the safety car. The rules? Suddenly unclear. Race director Michael Masi makes a controversial call to restart with one lap to go, only allowing select lapped cars to unlap themselves. Verstappen, on fresher tires, overtakes Hamilton. Championship decided. The internet breaks. Fans cry foul. The FIA investigates. Masi loses his job. But the result stands. Max is champion. More recently, Red Bull crossed the budget cap in 2022. In a sport where every tenth of a second matters, money means performance. Their penalty? A fine and reduced wind tunnel time. Critics said it wasn't enough. Mercedes and Ferrari cried injustice, but Red Bull kept winning. And let's not forget Ferrari, the most iconic team in F1 history. Beloved, glorified, but haunted by one thing. Strategy fails. Time and time again, wrong tire calls, poor pit timing, or confusing radio messages cost them races. For all their speed, they've become famous for fumbles. F1 isn't just built on victories, it's fueled by controversy. Because in a sport this fast, even a whisper of scandal spreads faster than any car on the grid. Behind every great F1 driver, there's often a figure off track shaping their image, their focus, and sometimes their fate. Start with Lewis Hamilton and Nicole Scherzinger. For years, they were the most high-profile couple in motorsport, a global pop star and a world champion. Headlines followed them everywhere. Red carpets, award shows, pit lanes. Their relationship was passionate, intense, and ultimately unsustainable. Fame collided with fame, and the pressure of being in two different worlds took its toll. Max Verstappen's partner, Kelly Piquet, is F1 royalty herself. The daughter of three-time world champion Nelson Piquet, Kelly brings legacy, glamour, and media magnetism. She's not just a girlfriend. She's part of the Verstappen brand, with millions following their relationship as closely as the title race. Charles Leclerc and Charlotte Siné were the modern Monaco fairy tale. He was Ferrari's young prince, she, the elegant socialite. Their breakup in 2022 shocked fans across Europe and trended worldwide. Even now, she remains part of F1's extended media orbit. And then there's Gary Halliwell. Yes, Ginger Spice, now Gary Horner. Married to Red Bull team principal Christian Horner, she's present at races, strategy briefings, and even in the garage. Her presence is more than symbolic. It's strategic. Together, they form a power couple at the helm of one of F1's most dominant teams. These women aren't just plus ones. They're brand builders, image shapers. They influence sponsorships, fan engagement, and even driver performance. In a sport where margins are razor thin, emotional balance can make the difference between winning and losing. In Formula 1, what happens off the track is just as important as what happens on it. And these women, stylish, savvy, and powerful, are helping write the story of modern F1. In Formula 1, success isn't just measured in seconds, it's measured in style. The drivers live a lifestyle as fast and luxurious as the cars they command. Behind the visors are global icons with garages full of supercars, homes in tax havens, and bank accounts padded with endorsement deals. Start with the rides. Max Verstappen owns an Aston Martin Valkyrie, a road-legal spaceship valued at over $3 million. Lewis Hamilton's collection includes a Pagani Zonda 760LH, a Shelby Cobra 427, and multiple bespoke Mercedes-AMG models. Charles Leclerc? Ferrari's golden boy cruises around Monaco in some of Maranello's finest creations. And where do they park these machines? Hamilton splits time between Monte Carlo, Colorado, and a multi-million-dollar penthouse in New York. Leclerc lives in Monaco's elite district, just minutes from the Grand Prix circuit. Verstappen's high-rise overlooks the Mediterranean Sea, complete with a private simulator room. Then there's the branding. Formula 1 drivers are walking billboards. Hamilton partners with Tommy Hilfiger, IWC, and Monster Energy. Verstappen is aligned with Tag Heuer and Dutch retail giants. Leclerc's cool image makes him the perfect face for Armani. The teams are just as commercial. Ferrari oozes tradition and Italian passion. Mercedes radiates precision, performance, and prestige. Red Bull Racing combines rebellious youth energy with dominating results, sponsored by energy drinks, fashion brands, and even cryptocurrency firms. And let's not forget the lifestyle moments. Monaco yacht parties, Ibiza vacations, Met Gala appearances, custom racing sneakers, and private jets hopping continents between Grand Prix. Formula 1 is more than a sport. It's a global luxury brand on wheels. And the drivers? They're not just competitors. They're celebrities in carbon fiber. Formula 1 is more than just a sport. It's a legacy in motion. Ayrton Senna's death didn't just change safety regulations, it changed hearts. His foundation still funds education in Brazil. His memory lives in murals, in fans, in every rainy qualifying session that whispers his name. Michael Schumacher remains a towering figure. Even in silence, his legend speaks volumes. His era with Ferrari defined dominance, precision, and unshakable focus. A generation of drivers was shaped chasing his shadow. Lewis Hamilton redefined what it means to be a driver in the 21st century. A champion, yes, but also a voice for justice, equality, and environmental change. He didn't just win. He used his platform to transform the sport from the inside out. Max Verstappen represents the next chapter, a fearless, data-driven warrior who thrives on instinct. He's not just winning races, he's defining a new breed of driver. Off the track, the impact runs deeper. Formula 1 has become a global cultural force, one that fuses luxury with entertainment, legacy with innovation. Through Drive to Survive, F1 gained millions of new fans, injecting youth, diversity, and digital engagement into the paddock. And then there's America. 3 races, countless new fans falling in love with the drama, the danger, and the dream. The sport is embracing sustainability, targeting net zero emissions, and driving change not just in racing, but in how we think about technology, logistics, and the planet. F1 is evolving, and its legacy, it's only getting faster. Formula 1 is a universe of noise, glory, pain, and speed. It's where seconds feel like lifetimes, and legends are built on fractions. From the spiritual genius of Ayrton Senna to the unstoppable dominance of Michael Schumacher, from the cultural force that is Lewis Hamilton to the raw aggression of Max Verstappen, from European strongholds to American streets, Formula 1 has transcended sport. It's a lifestyle, it's a story, it's the most dramatic show on wheels. So now we ask you, who is your all-time F1 icon? Which team do you ride or die with? And who will define the next era of this sport? Let us know in the comments below. Like the video, subscribe for more, and share it with someone who lives life in the fast lane. Because one thing is certain, this ride is far from over. This is Formula 1.